The year is 1928. E.L. Cord became a force in the automotive world practically overnight. He was a salesman, racing and selling modified Model Ts. When he was approached by a group of Chicago investors who controlled Auburn to run Auburn, Cord would counter with him taking over Auburn completely. In the fine print, E.L. Cord had to sell all of the unsold Auburns. Cord made his money in sales, so selling all the inventory off wasn't a huge deal to him. He would just paint the cars flashy colors, giving them bright, bold colors with pinstriping. The new colors made the cars pop, and they sold like hotcakes. E.L. Cord would have complete control of Auburn by 1928. It's also important to note that Cord acquired Duesenberg Motors Company in 1926, and he would elevate Duesenberg to what it's remembered as today. So Cord needed a brand to bridge the gap between Auburn and Duesenberg. Cord would ultimately make the new company with his name on it. Cord. He wanted the new car to be different than everything else on the market. He wanted his car to have a low-slung appearance and offer front-wheel drive. He was in an arms race with Archie Andrews of New Era Motors with their car, the Ruxton. There was actually 3 companies that were going to offer front-wheel drive first. Cord, Ruxton, or New Era Motors with the Ruxton. There was one other company that's lost and forgotten that tried the front-wheel drive concept, but they ultimately failed. One golden smiley face to anybody that knows that answer. The answer might show up later on in the Would You Rather segment. It's important to note that Cord wasn't the first front-wheel drive car sold here in the States, but Cord got inspiration from Harry Miller's front-wheel drive race car, but even Harry Miller wasn't the first. The first was Walter Christie in this country, and you can learn more in this video if you wish. Cord would beat the Ruxton to market by 3 months. Front-wheel drive made it possible for the car to sit substantially lower. By 1928, E.L. Cord had an umbrella company called the Cord Corporation, very similar to General Motors. He owned lots of companies in the transportation sector. His portfolio comprised of 150 different companies, which included but not limited to American Airways, Stinson Aircraft, Auburn Cord Duesenberg, New York Shipbuilding Company, Checker Cab, Columbia Axle, Limousine Body, Central Manufacturing, Lycoming Engine Company, which is the company that would supply all of the engines made for Auburn, Cord, and Duesenberg after 1927. To cut down on time, E.L. Cord selected an inline 8 that Lycoming was already making, the MD/MDA/HD engine, which was being used in larger Auburns. The engine would be modified by Cornelius Van Ransent for reverse rotation. The engine was mounted backwards with the transmission in the front of it for the front-wheel drive aspect. It was essentially a conventional rear-wheel drive setup just mounted in reverse. 8 soldiers in a row. Valves were in the block just above the pistons. 2 valves per cylinder, 1 intake, 1 exhaust. Valves were actuated by the camshaft, which was inside the block. Cylinder block is detachable from both the head and crankcase. Crankcase has an upper and lower half. The lower half is made up of pressed steel and acts as the oil pan. Crankshaft is supported by 5 main bearings, which are the bronze-backed Babbitt variety. Pistons are made of a special aluminum, 2 compression rings, 1 oil control ring. Crankshaft is drop-forged steel, which is statically and dynamically balanced, full-pressure oil lubrication system. Overall displacement was 298.6 cubic inch displacement, flathead inline 8, 4.9 liters. It was good for 125 horsepower, 3,400 RPM, 200 pound-feet or 271 newton meters at 1,800 RPM with a bore of 3¼ inch and a stroke of 4½ inches. Compression was 5.3 to 1. Years this engine was used, 1926 through midway through 1931. 5 main bearings, single updraft carburetor. In mid-year of 1931, Lycoming would bore out to 298, bringing overall displacement to 322 cubic inch displacement, flathead inline 8. This engine was often referred to as the FF engine. It was good for 140 horsepower at 3,400 RPM, estimated 220 pound-feet, or 298 newton meters around 1800 RPM. Estimate on the bore was 3.375 inches and a stroke of 4.5 inches. Years this engine was used: 1931, like midway through 1931 through 1932. Cord would produce around 5,014 Cords from 1929 through 1932. The stock market crashed in 1929. It hit the automotive industry as well as every other industry hard. Most companies didn't really see the lasting effects until 1932. E.L. Cord decided to hit the brakes on his radical front-wheel drive car, for now. But he would come back with an all-new front-wheel drive Cord in a few years' time, powered by a V8, which is covered in this episode if you'd like to check it out. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather Early Front-Wheel Drive Car Edition. Which one of these would you rather have? 1930 Ruxton, or 1931 Cord L29, or 1930 Gardner, which was the other front-wheel drive car from earlier. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. On to the second scenario. 1907 Walter Christie race car, or 1931 Cord L29, or 1924 Miller race car. Once again, go leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band, song title, and the lyric that comes next. I need all three. First person to do all three will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. I want you to think what a big man he'll be. Think all the places you'll see. So just to reiterate, today I need the name of the band, song title, and the song lyric or the line that comes next. First person to do all three in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this one. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below. Maybe you have a car, maybe you have a car collection, maybe you're affiliated with a museum and you want to see your cars featured on this channel. Please reach out to me at what.its.like at yahoo.com. What engine episodes would you like to see covered this year? Please put it in the comment section. I'm always looking for weird, obscure engines that nobody else really cares to talk about. That's what we do on this channel. If you dig what I do, please share, give us a like, and I can't, oh man, I'm having a hard time talking today. Consider subscribing to this channel because we dig everything automotive. Until next time, toodaloo!